Welcome to Nobichun CTV. Today, we bring you a critical story from the heart of our blue planet. A silent crisis is unfolding beneath the waves, one that threatens the very lungs of our oceans, the coral reefs. This is more than a story of beauty lost. It's a red alert from the ocean. This is dying reefs. Imagine a city beneath the sea, bustling, colorful, full of life. That's what coral reefs are. These underwater metropolises occupy less than 1% of the ocean floor, but host an astonishing 25% of all marine species. From playful clownfish to majestic manta rays, life thrives here in dazzling abundance. But what are corals, really? They might look like rocks or plants, but corals are actually colonies of tiny animals called polyps. These polyps build limestone skeletons over centuries, forming massive reef structures. It's a labor of love passed down through generations. Corals have a symbiotic relationship with microscopic algae called zooxanthellae. These algae live inside coral tissues, providing them with food through photosynthesis and giving them their radiant colors. It's one of nature's most elegant partnerships. Beyond their beauty, reefs are essential. They buffer coastlines from storms, support multi-billion-dollar tourism industries, and provide food security for over 500 million people around the globe. They're not just scenic, underwater vistas. They are lifelines. Coral reefs are nature's masterpieces, intricate, ancient, and irreplaceable, but their future is more fragile than ever. Beneath the waves, a deadly transformation is taking place. Coral reefs around the world are entering a death spiral, a cascading collapse, triggered by rising ocean temperatures and a changing planet. As the planet warms, so do the oceans. Just a 1 degrees Celsius increase is enough to push corals to their breaking point. In response, corals expel the algae, their life partners, in a desperate act of survival. This phenomenon is known as bleaching. Without these algae, corals lose both their color and their main energy source. What remains is a ghostly white skeleton. If the stress continues, if the waters stay too warm, the coral doesn't recover. It dies. In 2016, a marine heat wave devastated the Great Barrier Reef. Nearly 1/3 of its corals perished in a single season. It was an ecological disaster, on a stark warning. The death spiral doesn't stop at bleaching. A weakened reef becomes vulnerable to disease, to algae overgrowth, to collapse. Fish vanish, ecosystems unravel, and the clock keeps ticking. We are witnessing the collapse of ecosystems that took thousands of years to build, and it's happening in the span of decades, sometimes even years. The reefs are sounding the alarm, and if we don't listen, we may lose more than just their beauty. We may lose the heartbeat of our ocean. Even if the oceans were cooler, coral reefs would still face a barrage of threats, many caused by human hands. Pollution and physical destruction are silently suffocating the reefs. Every year, millions of tons of plastic enter our oceans. Bottles, bags, fishing lines, they wrap around coral, block sunlight, and introduce toxic chemicals into fragile ecosystems. Corals, already stressed by heat, struggle to survive in this toxic stew. On land, fertilizer and sewage runoff feeds explosive algae blooms, which blanket reefs and smother coral polyps. The water becomes murky, sunlight fades, and the balance tips toward decay. Then there's physical destruction, dynamite and cyanide fishing, anchor damage, and unregulated tourism. In minutes, explosives can destroy what took nature centuries to create. Corals are living organisms, not stone. They can be crushed, poisoned, and suffocated. And once a reef is gone, recovery is agonizingly slow, if it happens at all. We are not just watching a habitat disappear, we are erasing one of Earth's oldest and most important ecosystems. Brick by brick, we're tearing down the underwater cities that support life as we know it. When coral reefs die, the damage doesn't stay underwater. It ripples outward like falling dominoes. Entire marine food webs collapse. Fish populations dwindle. Coastal communities suffer. The disappearance of coral means fewer fish, fewer jobs, and more hunger. Tourism industries crash. Coastal protection vanishes. Without reefs acting as natural wave barriers, storms strike harder, erosion accelerates, and livelihoods vanish. We're talking about billions in lost revenue and untold human suffering. Coral reefs aren't just biodiversity hubs, they're the foundation of security for millions. The domino effect is real. What we lose beneath the surface affects us all. The question now is, how far will it fall before we stop it? But not all hope is lost. Around the world, scientists, conservationists, and local heroes are fighting to save the reefs. Coral nurseries are growing resilient species and transplanting them back onto damaged reefs. Some are even using 3D printing to build artificial reef structures. We are trying to give nature a helping hand. With the right conditions, reefs can recover. It's a race against time, but not a lost cause. Everyone can play a role in saving coral reefs. Reduce your carbon footprint. Choose sustainable seafood. Avoid single-use plastics. Support reef-safe sunscreens. Educate, donate, participate. Your actions, no matter how small, matter. The oceans are crying for help. Coral reefs are their voice. Will we listen? Subscribe to Nobichun CTV for more stories from the deep. Share this video. Be part of the change.